Now, insider trading. Well, that just sounds wrong.
How could that ever be a good thing, except for the insider?
Insider trading is wrong.
I think it's corruption, and I think it's wrong.
Right. Everyone knows it's wrong. But it's not, says Bob Murphy, an economist who studies financial markets. He says insider trading should be legal. Why?
Well, because it actually helps people, because now the people with inside information, they have the incentive to go out and trade based on that, so the stock price actually more accurately reflects what everybody knows.
But the insiders would have an unfair advantage over me, the average investor.
Well, they do have an advantage, and that's what the incentive is for them to go get that information. But that's the point. You as the little guy, you as the inside or the little investor, you have more of a confidence that the stock price is not going to bounce around, that it accurately reflects what others out there know. So you just getting in and out, just adjusting your portfolio, don't have to be as worried about massive swings in the price.
And I mean, I should say to the audience that a lot of people agree with him. There are scientists at the University of Chicago, Yale, George Mason, a judge on the Seventh Circuit, economists around who say he's right. Milton Friedman said, you should want more insider trading, not less. You want to give the people most likely to have knowledge about deficiencies of the company and incentives to make the public aware of that. It's just counterintuitive. Insider sounds sneaky.
Right, but in any other field, you want the experts, the people who really know what they're doing, to influence what it is that the public gets, right, what the product is. So now you as a little investor, if one stock is $100 and another is $200, if you're going to make those purchases, you kind of want there to be some reason that the $200 stock isn't that much more expensive. So the insiders help give you that outcome, that the company that really is good and profitable has the higher price, and the company that's a dog already has that bad news priced into it. And so you as the little guy don't get hit with this big surprise.
Insider trading was legal until 1968. What changed?
Well, I mean, I think there were various people on the inside who were worried about certain things, and they lobbied the government and got the regulations put in place. So I think it's naive to assume that the reason for the change was that a bunch of disinterested academics were sitting around saying, we want to go help the public. I think whenever you see these major changes, it's because insiders knew they could game the system.
And the major change is always toward more regulation, almost never to less. And you would argue that we don't even need the SEC at all.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, we can get real academic here, but let's step back for a minute. Right, let's not. I mean, look at their performance. They missed Enron, they missed Tyco, there was Sarbanes-Oxley. Everyone said, okay, this is the biggest legislation since the 30s, now we're going to clean up Wall Street. They missed Bernie Madoff, the biggest Ponzi scheme in history. And not only did they miss it, people in the private sector were sending them letters since 1999 saying Madoff is running a Ponzi scheme, there's no way his numbers add up, look into this. They ignored it, and it's not even that they caught him after the fact. His kids turned him in. What more would the SEC have to do than the Madoff scandal for the public to start saying, maybe this isn't the best way to approach this issue?
So explain to the public how it would work without an SEC.
There's all sorts of private mechanisms to protect investors. So
eBay has one, for example.
Yeah, there's reputational mechanisms when you buy stuff on eBay, Amazon, so forth. You can rate sellers. And so if there's fraud there, there's ways to try to nip that in the bud to keep it from becoming systematic.
So eBay, before you sell your stove or something, how do I know that they're really going to send me the stove or that it's a good thing? The market works it out. People post, this is a trustworthy seller.
People aren't dumb. They know fraud is possible. And so if the government's not there giving its implicit stamp of approval to everything, people will want to protect themselves.
That's a good point, because government gives you the illusion of safety. Oh, I don't really have to diversify my money. Government's protecting me. The SEC makes sure that this investment offering is a good one, because I got this prospectus I didn't read, but it was this thick. It must be good. If you didn't have that, you would protect yourself.
Right, exactly. Right now, there's this implicit idea that the SEC is there, so I don't really need to look as carefully because we know if something bad were going on, the government would have cracked down on it.
And without this implicit guarantee, people would also diversify, spread their money around so that the people who lost everything to Bernie Madoff would be less likely to happen.
Right, that's exactly right. This idea that, oh, the SEC is making sure that's a good thing to do with your money, maybe that's something we shouldn't be leading people to believe.
Thank you, Bob Murphy. Coming up, I've got my own currency here, Stossel dollars. Should people be allowed to print their own currency?
No.
No.
And that's in the Constitution.
Absolutely not. Are you kidding? No. Where did you get that question?